Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode number 9 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. My name is Nobody Jaymes, and this here is Nobody John. Just a couple things before I turn it over to you, John. You're going to notice a couple of little differences. My computer shit the bed, so I've got it set up on the laptop here, so I'm in a little bit of a different spot. I'm noticing right now that it's a little bit echoey, and then also I've got a background set up. So occasionally, if I move a lot, you'll see that my hand distorts the background,
They can't see your
and
hand. It's fine.
my hand will like disappear occasionally. So we'll see how this thing turns out. But John, how has your week been?
Uh, Pretty damn good actually. I'm opening a beer. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, I was pretty tired earlier, and you're like, you want to shoot earlier? And I was like, yeah, I do. Um,
I'm just now noticing something pretty awesome.
what?
The gap right here
Oh yeah,
is a shot into my real world.
you can
That's pretty
see
funny. If I turn
inside.
my head to the side like this, okay,
Just
go ahead. How's your week been?
it's pretty damn good actually. We're getting a new bed this weekend, which means there's gonna be some work on Saturday. My wife's father is retiring, so there's a party also Saturday evening. You know,
Everybody loves a party.
everybody loves a party. It's been a pretty good week, pretty busy. I'm pretty excited about getting the fast charger for my house. I still need to crawl underneath it and put the rest of the conduit, but I'm done with pretty much everything up until the easy like feed me a pipe, feed me another pipe, shove that pipe in. Come on, push it. Push that pipe
Push it
in
real good.
deeper.
I
Deeper. I
can't.
can't.
That's
Yeah, anyhow.
whoa.
Um
You got dark. I got salt and peppery.
that's right. Played a great game.
Uh oh.
Um the
Uh oh.
Vermintide
Don't
too.
go. Wait. Come on now. Roll
Oh,
it
you
back.
want to
We're not there yet.
we're not there, but that's happened this weekend or this
Yeah,
week.
that's what's entertaining you. We're in the what you got to get this thing
Oh
under
yeah, no,
control.
okay. So fine. Other than that, Amazon dropped a
Got
really
Italian for a second.
yeah
Okay, fine.
yeah yeah. Amazon dropped a really cool device called Halo. Basically, with the app, it you like take pictures in front of it. It maps your body fat, your BMI, your heart rate, all that other stuff. Combines it. There's a subscription service that goes through it. Early adopters get 6 months of it for free. And it takes a bunch of health readings on it to, I guess, help you lose weight. And right now it's $69. Normally it is $99, and I might pick it up just to help me push because I drink beer. I went to McDonald's today.
Been a rough day.
It's been a rough day. So
Well, I just got back on track on my diet. This is day number 4, I think.
throw it in
It
my
was all
face, why
based
don't
in.
you? Oh yeah, you ate McDonald's, you filthy pig.
I had pizza last night, but I didn't eat anything but an apple up until that point. So I specifically left out some calories so I could actually, eat an entire medium Pizza Hut pizza. Come, come last night. So that's what I did. That's how you do it. If you have an unhealthy diet like I do, you save your calories for the unhealthy meals, and then you're able to reel it in for the rest of the time. So like today, for instance, we had chili for dinner, high in protein, not high in, I guess high in fat, but not too terribly high in calories. Um, but I just had a Jimmy John sub for lunch, and that's the only thing I ate all day. And then I was like, I'm gonna just gorge myself on chili so I can have a couple beers. I think that's the definition of alcoholism. That just appeared out of nowhere. Look at
I'm just gonna cut out food so I can drink my calories.
I try to sit down in the morning and plan my calories out, and a big part of that is like, oh, I'm gonna drink about 2 to 3 beers today, so I'm gonna go ahead and include those calories in there, so I don't have to nip anything out.
I was
It's a
doing I
bad,
was doing pretty good up until I had free time at lunch. So literally, I had oatmeal for breakfast. I was like, this is pretty good. It was 160 calories. Went to work. Blah blah blah. I had a frozen bag of vegetables. I ate a family portion of vegetables for lunch. It was 200 calories, and
that's
then
good.
yeah, and then I was like, well, I'm still a little hungry. So then I went to McDonald's, and that's where it went downhill. I was in the drive-through too long because this lady, not trying to fat shame people, but she was like 400 pounds, and she 5 cars went by on the other drive-through while she was still ordering, and I was like, "This is why you are the way." And so I was frustrated, and and then I just ended up ordering like, "I'll take a 10-piece McNugget, yes, fries, yes, Dr. Pepper, okay,
Fatty.
add McDouble, it's over." Yeah,
You can't fat shame when you're ordering enough for 3 people, Judd.
listen, 3 European people,
Oh,
one
yeah.
American.
Whenever you're going to McDonald's, you do it right. At least you got to figure it out. I'm making waffles and sausage for breakfast, so that's gonna be my big meal tomorrow, and then
Dude,
I'm
that
gonna
sounds
just
awesome.
chill on my laurels. Well,
Hey,
I
but
got.
I'm gonna cut into you. I'm gonna cut into you. Yesterday, the Fiat released in Europe their first production La Prima, the 500 La Prima came off the line. So
Oh,
this is
that's
a sexy
exciting.
looking car.
So you're gonna get it.
No, it's only in Europe right now. I
Oh,
mean, it's an Italian car, so
that's all right. We can go to Europe. We'll box it up, send it back. Then you'll
we
have it
can't
waiting
go to
for you.
Europe right now. We're not
That's true.
allowed.
That's true. Although I'll feed off of that for just a second.
Shoot.
The good thing about this, while I went on vacation last week, we talked about that in our last episode. We went to Yellowstone National Park over in Wyoming.
Yep.
Drove there, drove back. We hit a bunch of stuff on the way. Um, but my wife is feeling a little bit more comfortable about getting out into the world a little bit with the mask. She had like generally like a phobia of the whole situation, but now having gone cross country, I say cross country, it's we drove through 5 states altogether. Um, so we went west 5 states. So starting in Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming. So we hit a bunch of states, hit a bunch of places, had to eat out several times, obviously. And she's gotten a little bit more level-headed about the whole thing. So at least maybe we can venture out into having a little bit more of a real life than what we were having before, because we spent the majority of this time just being locked in. Yes, sir.
Dude, today LG released their active filtering mask. So it's got lithium-ion batteries, two filters, and it sucks in air for you. For all those people that are like, I can't breathe in a mask because I'm a smoker and I have whatever CPOD or what is it called, where you can't
No,
breathe.
you're right. CPOD.
Yeah, CPOD. Yeah, you know. Oh, I can't
The
breathe with a mask on.
we've gone through this 65 times already in the 9 episodes that we recorded. But the people that don't want to wear masks aren't going to wear masks. It doesn't matter what they are made out of. I mean, like it's just crazy. I don't even want to get into it. But they can,
All I'm saying is I get to be Darth Vader, so everything
good
else.
for you. I say go for it. Live your life.
That's right.
Um,
I'm gonna choke a rebel out.
I don't know if the rest of the dream right gets to exist just because you're wearing a face mask. All of a sudden, you don't get to use the force, and you don't get to carry around a lightsaber and stab through stormtroopers. That's just not how it works.
Oh, no, 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 no. The stormtroopers are on my side,
Oh, you're right. You're right.
James. I'm bringing order to the galaxy from these rebel scum. That's how it goes.
That's
Okay.
my fault. I was way wrong. I'm so sorry.
Are you on the rebel
Yeah,
side? Huh.
I mean that's the right side of history, right? They win.
History's not over.
It kind of is though. Anyway, so I went on my vacation. We had a really good time. We hit the Badlands. We hit Mount Rushmore. We hit Crazy Horse. We hit Custer State Park. Went to Yellowstone National Park. Grand Tetons. Yes.
Crazy Horse is it finished?
No. I mean, they've literally probably made no progress since you. Now they literally just have the face and then the under, like where his arm's sticking out. They just have like the under part of the arm. That's it. It's insane. It's been going for 60 years, and it took Yellowstone, or not Yellowstone. It took them like 40 something years to do all of Mount Rushmore. So it is just absolutely ridiculous that it's taking that long. But they've had a couple complications. I learned, like there's some structural integrity on the mountain that they picked. So some structural integrity issues on the mountain that they picked. So they're trying to carve though around that and not really dip into the breaks and the cracks and stuff that they're coming across. And then on top of that, it's all it was privately funded, so now they're just continuously trying to privately fund it, so work on it at a speed that they can maintain. Um, but that was the most one of the most frustrating parts about our entire trip is we just wanted to get close enough to take a quick picture and move on because we heard a lot about Crazy Horse. And then we ended up turning into the actual parking lot of Crazy Horse, but there's no turnaround there. So what we had to do is pay $24 to get in just to essentially turn around. We were there for maybe 30 minutes. So huge waste of money.
Hey, but that funding goes to
That's
Crazy
the
Horse, right?
only part of it that makes me even remotely okay with it.
Did you get a receipt?
I don't think so. You saying it's a tax write off?
I- Itemized.
I don't think I did keep any receipts from the trip, but it is what it is. Uh,
I'm not a tax consultant, by the way, so
so maybe you don't know anything. We're also babysitting. I say babysitting, but it's like a 14, an 11, and like a 9-year-old or something like that. My sister-in-law, they bought a new house and they're moving in. So I helped them pack up and get moved all day. We're doing it tomorrow as well, but they didn't have anywhere to sleep tonight, the kids. So I was like, just let them come over here, have them sleep. And it's been just an absolute shit show from beginning to end so far. And all of it has mostly been from my children. Um, Again, we had chili. My youngest likes chili. She came in to show us the bowl we were eating in the living room because the five were taking up the table. Showed us her bowl to show, like, have I eaten enough? And then she drops it on the floor, spills chili all over the living room floor, which is not the easiest thing to get out of light carpet or anything. Um, then they wanted to go outside, so they went outside. They're in and out every 15 seconds. They wanted to paint, so we're like, sure, go paint outside. And they took some stuff out. My youngest again took a bottle of paint and dumped the entire thing out, and now I have paint all over my brick patio in the back. It's a bit of depression that I'm going through, but
you can
it's
power wash that, right?
it's like, I mean, it's going to be something for sure. I'll figure it out, but it's an absolute nightmare
So,
so far.
gotta come and visit you. There's gonna be like a shit chili stain in the
Yep,
living room
paint
carpet.
all over the back
Uh,
patio. Yep,
what color's the paint?
blue, pink. Yeah, it runs the gamut.
Okay, okay. It's not like red, like there's a murder stain.
Uh,
That's where they shit
I think
themselves.
there will be a murder stain after the end of the night, though. It might not be. I'm just gonna start throwing them out the upstairs window. Like they piss me off. I'm done with you.
Ooh.
So that's my life, but it's been an exciting week. So, like I said, we've done a lot. We've been through a lot. Drove 2,600 miles, something like that, all together. Hit up, like I said, states. Spent way too much money, but hey, it's called vacation. That's what you do. And now we're back safe and sound and ready to get this world kicked off. So, John, I know you were itching to talk about a really good game that you played a whole bunch of. So I want you to hit me with what's been entertaining you this week.
Well, I didn't really get to play that much of it, but
That's true because you broke my computer that you built for me.
yeah. Well, you can blame your cheap friends. So,
Hey, it's all right. You guys built and paid for it. It was a gift. I can't complain. I am itching to get it
well,
back up because I actually really enjoyed the game that we played last night.
dude, that power supply is coming to you. I'll be your eyes and ears. It'll be easy. Literally, it's
So
five
did
power sources,
not only
and it's
did
modular.
not only did John and friends buy, build, and give me a PC, but every time it breaks, it's like the best insurance policy. It's a lifetime warranty that's cost me $0.
Listen, I do upgrades. Those upgrades trickle down to
That's
you,
true.
either Kayla or my dad. That's how the distribution goes. Like, as soon as I
Kayla's
upgrade
also a
my
friend.
graphics card, I'm assuming my graphics card will go up to you. The graphics card that you have that came from my brother will go to my
Yeah,
dad. It's just
just a
this big
rotating.
circle of.
Yeah, if I don't blow it up in the process of trying to put in the power supply, because I don't know how to build PCs. But hey, he sent me a list of instructions. It's a whopping four simple instructions, and I don't know what any of it meant.
It
Just a
doesn't
four
matter.
pin
No, those are
prong to
just
a.
no 24 pin,
Anyway,
24 pin to the
anyway,
motherboard,
let's talk about
four to the
let's
CPU.
talk about the game. What game did we play last night?
Okay, we played Vermintide 2. Little disappointed that I didn't pick up the first one. Might pick up some of the expansions because I really did enjoy it, even though we got wiped on the easiest setting the first run
It
through.
was
And
it
that's my
practice.
bad.
Hey, did you play Team Fortress 2? Okay,
Yes, I have
did you
that.
play Team Fortress 1?
Yes,
Okay, and
PlayStation.
do you know the difference, like the aggressive difference between the two?
The aggressive difference? Well, Team
Yeah,
Fortress 2 has like
I'm
a
not.
plethora
It's not
more
a.
games, like a
No, it's not
plethora
a.
more gaming styles.
It's not a trivia question. It's do you see like the graphical upgrade between TF1 and TF2? It's like 9 day. It's completely different, right?
Yeah, it's well,
Yeah.
it's not completely different. Like it doesn't impact the game play that much.
Right. That's all it is, though. It's the same game with a graphical upgrade. I don't think you're missing out on anything
Yeah.
in the first one. So Vermintide 1 versus Vermintide 2, I don't think you're missing anything, is all I'm trying to say.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Anyhow, so we wiped the first time we played. You and
Because we
I.
suck.
Yeah, I got ganked. I got ganked. So it's very similar. It feels like Left 4 Dead 2. Especially on some of the things that go on there, but there are more bosses. There are more uh, enemies, and the bosses have different styles. Although you have the jackal, you've got the Lickitung. That's a Pokemon, but
They're literally
Smoker,
like the exact
Smoker in Left
same.
4 Dead,
Yeah,
Smoker.
they're literally like the exact same. You have the person that comes in and hooks you and tries to take you away. You have an assassin that comes in and attacks you from behind and just claws at you.
Well, they're kind of combined though because the Smoker didn't take you away. They choked you and they like it reeled you in, but the Jackal's what got on you and led you away from your party.
Right.
So so the guy with the hook is kind of like an in between. And I thought it was really cool, although I was dying, was that he like literally took me into the horde of the vermin and then like put me up on a stick and they were like beating me and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I thought that was cool.
Know if they were choking you or yeah, you might be right. They were beating you because that was that round. We played 2 rounds. The first one, like you said, we wiped because we got separated and we just didn't really know the flow of the game. Um, in this second instance, we actually beat the round, but we were playing on the easiest setting because again, we're just dabbling. But from beginning to end, I guess the place we should start real quick is this is a little bit of an older game. It was probably what it's probably 2 or 3 years old
I think so.
at least.
We kind of looked
You,
into it because they made that release because the same studio is making it's not Vermintide. Oh, what do they call it? I have it
this
on.
is an offshoot of Warhammer 40K.
Nope.
I thought
Warhammer.
it was
40K is in
just
the
Warhammer.
future. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I'm sorry. So this is an offshoot of that. It is a Left 4 Dead clone by all intents and purposes. You pick your class, and that's a class that you can stick with, and you can kind of level up and grow. You can update them cosmetically. You can get new weapons. And I took like the Elven class. John took like just the. I guess you would just be an old the war class, like a human.
Human. Yeah. He's not a
Yeah,
warrior because
human
I took some of those like in-game currency and I used it to buy a thing and it didn't. I couldn't equip the cosmetic. That's not what I wanted to send you. I'm sorry. That's for a manufacturer in Europe that will take your electric car and then upgrade your battery. That's when the game came out.
All right, you could have just said it, March 8th, 2018, but that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
So,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. Just a little, right, a little bit over 2 years ago. So it's a little bit of an older game. We actually came across it, or at least I noticed it. Um, maybe a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and it's a game we said that we wanted to play. We were going to wait till it was on sale since it was a little bit older game, and I'm not going to pay, 40, $50 for a 2 year old game. And it was on sale for $7.50. So we picked it up, literally played through a couple matches last night before my computer died. And so far, I strongly encourage the purchase. I think it's a very, very, very good game.
Especially
Um,
740.
I, yeah, you can't get away with that, or you can't get away without buying in for that. I like my Elven class. She's rocking at this moment. I got her 2 dual wield daggers, so
Oh,
she's a quick striker, and then also she's got a swift bow, which means that she gets 99 rounds, and she is just popping them like Legolas from the Lord of the Rings series, and it's really really cool. The big difference for me, and the reason I never really got into Left 4 Dead, I did pick up both copies, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I never really enjoyed the series exclusively because you're fighting zombies and you can headshot them, but they never go down in one headshot. So you're popping, like you said, there's more enemies in Vermintide. So if I'm headshotting these vermin, these mice enemies,
hmm
they are essentially going down with one shot unless they are armored
yeah.
enemies. So I didn't like in the original Left 4 Dead that you would regularly shoot them in the head, and it would still take two, three, four, 5 shots before they would go down.
Do you think that's an aspect of like the programming difference, like the timeline? Because like the box, the hit zone for you to get an instant kill might have been like off because of the engine that they used.
It could have been, but I think it's kind of like Call of Duty zombies. Whenever they have the zombies involved in the Call of Duty games, it's just if I'm fighting a zombie, I expect a headshot to take them down, and that's never the case. They ramp up the difficulty a little bit, and I just give me more enemies, and I don't. Maybe they couldn't do that in that time frame, but now Call of Duties are getting more popular. I'm sorry, not more popular, but they're still coming, getting more up to date. They should be able to be taken down in one headshot, and they should just throw more enemies or different enemy
Yeah,
variants
have
at.
enough threads to put more AI enemies in. Yeah.
And that's what I like about the Vermintide so far is the series or game. I guess we've only played the second one, but it's at the very least I can headshot them with my bow, and it still takes them down. It doesn't take but maybe 2 to 3 swipes with my daggers to. Yeah, it's a really impressive game. It's pretty visually impressive. You can decapitate them, cut their arms and legs off. Um, you have these really neat images and graphics that go along with the game. So I think it was a great purchase. That was definitely one that was on your radar. I look
Yeah, my
forward to getting
brother
back
picked it
into it.
up, and I was like, I gotta get it. And the reason why it came back on my radar is because I saw a trailer for the same studio. They are making Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, so it's Vermintide, but in the 40k series. And it's not against vermin; it's against the Tyranids, like the bug xenomorph species of that time frame.
I
So
will say this: after playing just a little bit that we have already played, I'm all in. I will buy that game day one, and we're going to dig into that thing pretty deep. I think
we can have a party of four, no doubt,
it'll
anytime
be
of
awesome.
humans.
The
Yeah.
the leveling system seems pretty easy going. From what I understand, some of the major complaints about this game are the loot boxy natures of it. You have a tendency to pick up um, after successful rounds, you get and certain level ups, you get loot boxes that you can open up and get better gear. You earn money that you can upgrade your gear, and I think they over the course of the last couple of years have kind of toned it down, like the amount of money you get, amount of rewards you receive to try to you know encourage people to spend more money in game. But I'm one of those people that, as far as the loot box system goes, I have a very low expectancy for myself to be able to spend any extra money in the game. I don't typically buy in on DLC. I don't typically buy in on loot boxes because I kind of like to play through what I get, and once you beat it, you move on. And I have a hard time going back and dipping back in and just trying to get those cosmetics. Now, if you dangle me a nice carrot at the end of your stick and want me to keep playing to get to that carrot, I will do that if it's encouraging enough.
I know you'll
But
get to
other,
that carrot. I've seen it.
yeah, I like to tear them down. Except I don't eat vegetables, so I don't know what to do with that one.
You'll you'll know what to do when you get a hold of it. I think I'm a DLC kind of guy. If it's worth it, not just for cosmetics. I don't want the cosmetics. I want another map. I want something else to play. If you give me some extra characters with different abilities or something like that, that's when I'll
Yeah,
pick up
that
the
would be good.
DLC.
That would be good if this game could introduce new characters. Again, I've only
I think
dipped
it
into
does.
the
I
elf.
think it
Yeah,
does in the some of the DLCs. Now, I'm not willing to pay 4.99 for a new armor skin for my guy. I
right.
don't care. If you had like a quarter or 25 cent or 50, I might actually spend $5 on extra like cosmetics, but you're not going to find me spending $5 on one item. You just
Right.
turned me off. I ain't going to do it.
Would you spend five? I'm just curious. Would you spend $5 on a randomized loot box that might
No,
give you
I'm not a gambler.
let's what if it was guaranteed? What if it was guaranteed you would get at least a full cosmetic skin, a rare weapon, and I don't know,
I'm going shopping. I'm not rolling the
a
dice.
power ever. You don't buy it ever.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't dip in either, and for the same reason, I'm not going to. I can think of no, actually, I can't. I can't think of a single. I was going to say maybe in The Last of Us's online multiplayer, I've purchased cosmetic DLC upgrades, but I don't think in my. I know I didn't do it there, but I can't think of a single time in the history of my gaming life that I've put money into just cosmetic upgrades.
Yeah.
It's just not really my style.
I'm not going to do it. I'm
So
not going to roll up to the drive-thru at McDonald's. Lady's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know. You pick it out for me. I've got a 10 spot. Let's keep it under that." No. No, thank you. It's not going to happen.
I like your style. You're a man that knows what he's willing to give, and
Not.
nothing more, nothing less. That's why it took you so long to
That's
find love.
right. Everybody save the God Emperor, okay?
I like that you started to have a witty comeback and then you got burned a little bit. You're like, well, that was kind of offensive.
Cosmic drink. Look at this.
I see it, John. You're
That's what
crushing it.
you did.
No, all right. Well, let me turn this over. I think that obviously I had a good time with that game. I look forward to getting back into it. But let me talk about this film that I actually just watched yesterday.
Ooh.
It's really recent. It's called Host, not the host. Don't get excited. It's not the one you're thinking about. It's
No,
not.
no, 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 no.
Um, this is a film that is released exclusively on Shudder, and I think to call it a film is probably a little bit generous. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the length of it. It's only about an hour, hour and 5 minutes. Um, So it's a really, really neat. I don't know. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna keep calling it a film. I think it's a little too short to call it that, but it has uh, a quick story. Get in, get out, and move on. Um, Again, released exclusively on Shudder, which is a streaming service exclusively for horror. I think it only charge you get a week for free if you sign up, and then it's something like $8 a month. I don't know if it's worth the $8. There is a lot of interesting stuff on there that I think will be fun to watch if you're a huge horror fan, which I am. But I have yet to actually subscribe and keep the. I think I've put $8 into it so far, and I keep canceling after that 1 week subscription, that free subscription, because I watched a few things I want to watch and I bail out. With this show, movie, whatever, it's just called Host. It's just set in just like we're doing now. It's a group of five friends that get together and do a Zoom call, and it is set during the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's something they've set up every week. They get together, they play board games, just have a conversation, or they will, in this instance, they do a seance. And what they do in this seance is they contact the dead and then they disrespect the dead. And spoiler alert, some weird stuff happens and maybe nefarious things come into play. It's very similar to what I would compare to Unfriended, which was a film that came out, I think, about 2 to 3 years ago in theaters, which took place exclusively all on Zoom calls. But I think that they did a really good job in this film of sticking to the point and getting in and out. Like I said, I watched it in just one sitting, quick 1 hour, 1 hour, 5 minute window. Um, I actually watched it on my phone, which maybe doesn't do it the justice that it deserves. I thought the scares were effective. I thought the acting was fantastic. It was very natural. It was supposed to feel natural. I thought the group of friends was realistic. They argue and they bicker because of certain circumstances, just like you would expect from a group of friends. And then again, I say the gore is pretty limited. So if you're a big goreophile, you could probably skip out on this if that's what you're looking for because it's not too aggressive. Um, but
Only when it's
again,
women.
that's a aggressive statement.
Dude getting cut up in half, I'm out. All right,
Yeah,
ladies.
well, you only like to see women die. I want to just pinpoint that you're joking.
I am joking. I am joking.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I knew you were.
People might, yeah, they don't know me. They don't know
Yeah,
sarcasm, but
yeah.
listen,
Next, you're
I'm
sexist.
equal opportunity. You're dead, kids, people, women, children, men, grandmas, grandpas, Santa Claus. I don't care. Leave the
That order
animals alone.
specific.
Leave the
Oh,
animals alone. You know, last episode we were talking about like that weird like D class horror film we saw. I'm pretty sure they killed animals in it. It was in
oh
the
yeah. They did.
Philippines. The shooting was in the Philippines. We're talking the 60s.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
gonna say.
like, this is fucked up.
Yeah, it wasn't until like the mid to late '80s that they even started caring about animals. Like they were chopping up pigeons, and yeah, it was ridiculous. But I'm gonna say on the scale of my or garbage, blank, good, great, Gaga, I'm gonna say it's great. I would say it's absolutely worth a watch. It's absolutely worth subscribing to Shudder for a free trial. I'm not saying it's worth buying into Shudder for, but I had a really great time with it, and I think that everybody should check it out. Host. It's just called Host.
Want you to
How about
know.
you?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow, uh, the local theater, not the big wig Regal, but the independent theater, they're having their latest video of a vengeance come out, which are their VHS with a vengeance, like videos that never made it to like DVD or Blu. Nobody remastered these guys. And the next one that's coming out is called Picasso Trigger, and I'm definitely down for this. Killing is an art form. Comes out tomorrow at our local Bookhouse Cinema, so I'm gonna go check that out at 8:30. As far as videos that are series, I haven't really watched a movie of lately. Been watching a little bit of anime. Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix. I like the whole good versus evil, and I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool thing. There's knights in the past. The angels are gone. The demons are sort of around, and there's these ragtag heroes. They're called the Seven Deadly Sins. And they kind of go around the countryside saving stuff, but they're kind of outlawed in the beginning seasons from the Kingdom of Leonis because they are technically, I guess, bad or whatever.
Well, even though I went on vacation, I actually dabbled in a whole bunch of different stuff. So I've got plenty more that we can talk about. This first one, or the second
Buffalo
one, I guess I
stuff.
should say. No, no, but I did see some bison. There are no buffalo in America, though. Suck.
Tatanka. I'm gonna look that
But
up.
this movie I'm sure you've seen because it deals with well you'll know it. Green Room. Have you seen Green Room?
Yes, love it.
Yeah.
Own
This
it.
is a yeah, Blu-ray.
Yeah. Put that baby on a
Nothing
Plex.
wrong with that. This is a movie that I watched once before, but it came out in 2016, April 15th of 2016. Um, it stars
Patrick
what
Stewart.
is that guy's name?
Patrick Stewart.
It does have Patrick Stewart. I
And
should just
Jean-Luc
and,
Picard as a
yep,
Nazi.
yeah, and then Anton Yelchin. This was the last film that he did before he was killed by his vehicle. And then Imogene Poots and Aaliyah Shawkat, I think her name is, but she was maybe in Arrested Development. Um, This is a movie, like I said, I watched it back when it released on streaming some time ago. I think I rented it on Amazon Prime at the time, and now it's available to watch on Netflix. Yes, it is. And I watched it, and turns out this is one of the movies I watched while my wife was driving during our vacation. This is a perfect road trip movie because this is exactly what they're doing in this film. If anybody doesn't know about this movie, again, it's from 2016, but it's about a uh, independent punk band. They're struggling. They're down on their luck for the most part, and they're driving around trying to hit up a few gigs. One gig that they get booked for ends up getting canceled because they meet up with this guy that isn't able to hold his promise to them, I guess. So he sets them up with another gig that's even further cross country, and they end up stumbling into a situation in a skinhead bar, and they happen upon a murder, and then they are basically just trying to fight their way out of this bar with their lives. That's really all it boils down to. They come across as a couple. I think there's what, one, two, three, four. There's four in the band, right? Three guys and one girl, I do believe, and they're trying to fight their way out. They come across as really aggressive, I don't know, macho kind of guys. And then once the shit hits the fan, they have a tendency to kind of clam up and not be quite what they promised. So, um,
When shit hits
this,
the
like,
fan, you'll see what mustard you got in the kitchen.
yeah, exactly. If shit hits the fan, you got to see what mustard you got in the kitchen.
The thing is about that movie, it all comes down to one bad guy. Like they would have been fine if one member of this neo-fascist, they're not even fascist. They wouldn't count as fascist. Fascism wouldn't like them in there because they're so loose. They would definitely have been like a Freikorps kind of people. But one member of this racist organization murders. Yeah, that's what they do, the murder. And like the whole thing is that everybody else is trying to cover it up. Like they're in deep. Both parties are in shit deep.
Yeah,
And
basically, one of them doesn't want to get their business shut down because it is. I'm going to do some spoilers. We're going to kind of go all spoilers for this thing. I'm not necessarily wanting to go through the whole story by any stretch of
I'm
the
fucking
imagination,
ready. I love that movie.
but the bar itself is a front for, I believe, heroin. Um, because
Meth.
when
I thought it was meth.
either way, meth works too. Whatever it is, it's a white powdery substance. I'm sorry, I don't dabble, so I have no idea. And they don't ever exclusively
Say it, yeah.
identify it. Well, yeah, and then actually, it's another visiting band that happens to be partners with this bar that commits a murder, and they end up getting killed in the long run too. That's the only complaint I have about this film. There are two specific details that I didn't think get properly resolved, and I had to actually look up a little information. I was like, oh, that band got away scot free. And it shows them later on tied off with a needle in their arm. One of them's eating a bowl of cereal. He's just kind of locked in position. Apparently, that's signifying that they were killed. They were given dirty drugs, and then they ended up dying.
Yeah, no, I it was a stage murder though.
Right.
Like they
To,
made it
to
look
me,
like they had just overdosed, but they had been murdered.
right. To me, it didn't play. I thought it just looked like they were high. I mean, a guy was
Oh.
passed out. It didn't show his face. It didn't show. It just showed him like laying back with a needle in his arm, and it showed the other guy like locked in position, holding a bowl of cereal or cheer.
I
Like,
think they set that up in the movie at some point, at least as I recall in the Blu-ray, where they like talked about what they had done.
and you very well could be right. Again, I was on the road traveling, so I might have missed it, but it wasn't. And I sound like a complete idiot, but in some capacity, wasn't made appropriately clear to me. Which for this movie, it's all up front. right? It's all at face value. You don't have to dig too deep for meaning or significance or anything like that in this
Nope, you
film,
just got to
in my
pay
opinion.
attention. And I'm going to actually have to shame you for not paying proper enough attention to a movie, a film, have you, that Sir Patrick Stewart is in.
Second time. I've seen this movie twice and I
Oh
still
my
didn't catch that.
God, what are you doing with your life?
I know I'm a broken human being, but I like the way that the system is set up. I like how they're trying to keep there's a couple of innuendo things. They try to keep it clean. They're like, don't use machetes, don't hit the bone, because they're going to try to stage this killing to look like it's this dogs ate them while they were breaking onto property. And you don't, it doesn't say that. Again, you got to kind of think about it or look into it. It doesn't say don't hit the bone because we want to make it look like the dogs are trying to eat them. He just says and don't hit too hard. You don't want to hit the bone. Patrick Stewart is phenomenal in this movie. I don't personally think he ever comes across as menacing or scary as what the film wants you to believe or what I think you feel like he came across. I just think he was good in the role.
I
Like
think he's
even at
just a
the end,
cold, calculating, like that's his, like he's okay with it. And I think that shows an aspect of the world. Like there are people out there. They don't seem radical. They don't seem off their rocker. They're not crazy. They talk. They're very intellectual. They just
yeah,
have,
he's not crazy at all. He just
yeah,
has
he's
his
just very
own
logical.
interests in
Like,
mind. Yeah.
can't do that. We can't let him go. We've got to do X, Y, Z. We'll keep it going.
And that's my only other complaint with this movie is I think that they have a tendency the rock band I think they have a tendency to do some real stupid stuff because they end up with a gun towards the beginning of the movie while they're trapped in the green room, and he ends up talking him into turning over the gun, which is just crazy. They've already had a conversation about how they're convinced that they're not going to be making it out of this. Well, if we give the gun over, maybe we'll have a chance to get out. No, 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 no. Okay, you've already realized that you're probably not going to make it out of this. And but when they break out of this green room and run, they literally say, "Hey, we're not all going to survive, but at least some of us can make it out." And this is a close knit group of four friends, right? They've already considered and accepted their fate. So if that was 20 minutes later, why would they give the gun up? That's the part that just bothers me to no end.
I
It makes
mean,
there's no proper answer. I think what it signifies. I'll let you say what you wanted to. I didn't mean to cut you off necessarily.
you're fine.
I
I
think
just think they're dumb kids.
I think that's what it's trying to say is you don't know how you're going to act whenever you know uh, you're put in that kind of a predicament. And I will admit I've never been in that situation, so I might be like, "Oh, let's give him a gun. I don't want to shoot anybody." But
Privilege. That's what you got right there. Privilege.
there you go. I'm lucky to never have seen a murder and then have to try to fight for my life. But I mean, we're talking awesome, awesome, awesome. Uh, I say awesome. I'm gonna change that. Let me reel it back. I don't want to seem like a freaking
Yeah,
psychopath.
great.
I'm gonna say gruesome effects. A guy gets his arm chopped to bits to the point where the hand's just dangling, and that is, I mean, it. Oh, that one right there. That one right there hits me hard. Like I can't. I hate to even see it. And like at one point they like try to pick his hand up and then
Oh
just
yeah.
drop it. Oh, it's and then they duct tape it back together. Oh my god, it's so gnarly. You see a dog like tearing a couple people's throats out. You see a guy get shotgun blasted in the face. Uh it's an aggressive film, but it's freaking awesome. So if I had to rate this movie, John, we're gonna say it at the same time, right? On three, one, two, three.
Gaga.
Gaga. This movie is gaga. It's so good. With that being said, John, let's jump into a couple of my other pieces of entertainment. How do you feel about the band The Killers?
They're okay.
Do you like
I'm not like I didn't buy any of their albums. A couple of the songs I'll play on, and I like those songs, but I'm not like this is an album. I want to listen to their album. I get,
so I appreciate your opinion. I think that whenever you say that you've kind of bought into a little bit of their music, I think you're probably going to be referring to some of their older stuff.
yes,
In the hot fuss range, like the somebody told me that you had a girlfriend that looked like a or boyfriend that looked like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year. You know that song?
hmm
Um, and a couple of their others. I wanted to dig into their discography just a little bit. They just had a brand new album come out called Imploding the Mirage. I find the Killers to be interesting at least. I think they released their first album, which again was Hot Fuss in 2004, and it was an absolute smash. They had an amazing, amazing set of hits that came off of that, which I'm looking up right now. But it's Mr. Brightside, Somebody Told Me, all these things that I've done, and then Smile Like You Mean It. All four of those were chart toppers, or at least chart. I don't know, like top 20 hits, right? And that album itself was a very good mix of electronic, dance, pop, rock. Then they had Sam's Town come out in 2006, which, for me and my money, Sam's Town is their best album. And I can already tell your eyes are getting a little droopy because you don't care so much about this band, but it's a little something new that I wanted to talk about. Sam's Town, fantastic. They're my favorite song, probably. I'm going to say I'll say it. My favorite song of theirs is "When You Were Young," which is their number one single from Sam's Town. But man, there's so many hot sounds for coming off of that record. But the moral of the story is on that album specifically, they took a very like aggressive turn from like the electronic side. They almost completely kicked it to the curb and went into a little bit more of like I'm not going to say country, but it's a country twangish, a little bit of a different sound, but they still maintained enough of their original sound that made it very intriguing and interesting to me. Then they had Days and Age come out in 2008, and it was a couple steps down, in my opinion, with only let me rephrase that. Actually, it was a massive step down because again, Hot Fuzz would have been a great album. Sam's Town would be a Gaga album. Days and Age would, for me, be a good album at best. And I think they had one or two songs that were good. The rest of it was completely skippable. I do want to go back and listen to it again. And being a 12-year-old album, it just didn't catch me off out of the gate. And I don't know if I gave it the time and day that it needed. But their next one was Battle Born, which I personally kind of hated. I didn't find anything on that album that got me interested. Even their hit singles that came off of it, being Runaway, Miss Atomic Bomb, and Here With Me, were all completely skippable, in my opinion. I didn't find anything fun or interesting about that. And then they had Wonderful Wonderful come out in, I'm looking, 2017. And again, probably one or two songs off of this album that were good, The Man and Run for Cover. And now we have the most recent, which is Imploding the Mirage. So, in my opinion, if I had to give Hot Fuss a great, if I had to give Sam's Town a Gaga, if I had to give Days and Age a good, a Battleborn a blank, a Wonderful Wonderful a garbage, personally. That's just my opinion. I'm probably wrong. I need to dig into it a little bit more. But Imploding the Mirage comes back and hits pretty hard, and I would put it right into at least the good category. There's a couple of good tracks that I found personally to tickle my fancy. Their hits so far that are coming off of the album are Caution, Fire and Bone, My Own Soul's Warning, and In Dying Breed. And I actually agree with that list of singles. They're pretty fun. I don't think if you or anybody else were to delve into this album, you would be blown away because I don't feel like it's your style of music. But if you have accepted the way that the Killers have kind of evolved and grown over time, you might find it to be a little bit of fun. But
Gotcha.
I I don't know if I had to rank their albums, I'd say this is probably the third so far, but it's still a huge step down from Sam's Town. What? What's that face?
My wife brought me a beer because she loves me.
Oh, that's so nice. Tell her I
As
said
I was
hi.
texting her, I was like,
You were
uh,
texting her, will you bring me a beer?
yeah.
That's not love, then, you dillhole.
Why?
It's not love if you have to ask. She would have just been like, hey, that's an empty
Listen,
glass. Here's a beer.
I don't expect her to have like Jedi or Sith skills to read my mind or see my glass. I'm not a male chauvinist. My glass empty. This can't be. Woman, I need you.
What kind of music does your wife listen to?
She listens to all kinds of stuff. Actually, she listens. So,
Ask her right now. Ask her right now what her favorite band is.
hey Madison, what's your favorite brand? Real quick.
Not brand, band.
Band, yeah, or singer, rapper, whatever. She don't freaking know.
She don't
Mozart.
freaking know.
She,
Really? No.
she likes so
Tell.
many different things. I told you,
Ask her
she's
this.
like all
Ask
over the
her this.
place,
Hold
just
on.
like me.
Hold on, John. Ask her this. Top three. Go.
Top three, baby, go.
She'll give you at least one. That's the easy way to get that answer.
Sublime.
See, at least we got one out of it. That's a good choice. That's not a lot of records though. Sublime's good though. I do enjoy some Sublime.
Her brain's farting. She's gassy.
Hey, we got one. Tell her I said thank you.
James says thank you. She laughed.
I've got one more
Put
thing
my
I'm going to
wife
talk.
on the spot,
I
James.
know that's the way I like to roll. Well, I've got one more thing I'm going to talk about, and then we can go into our
We're gonna
games.
talk
Okay?
about Lady Gaga Instagramming her ice bath. I couldn't do that shit. I couldn't do that shit at all. Fucking hot bath. I'll take fire underneath an iron tub to boil my bits, not ice.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
Deftones. She said Deftones too.
There she is, Deftones. All right, I need to dig into Deftones. I haven't actually given them the time of day. I've heard a couple of their hits. They're kind of like a Radiohead to me. They're
What
solid.
else? She wants one more. She wants. This is it. This is the last one you give me. Frank Ocean.
Really? That's a
That's
little
what
bit
she,
rap.
dude. She's into that. Oh, speaking of rap, fuck. Let me look this up. Go ahead. Go ahead into your last deal. I had one of
Listen,
my
I'm gonna make a.
coworkers gave me something, and I was like, these guys
I'm
are
gonna,
good.
I'm gonna make a suggestion to you. I'm only about 6 or 7 episodes in. Do you like animation?
Yeah,
Do you like superhero animation?
like One Punch Man.
Do you like gratuitous, foul, violent, hilarious superhero animation?
Are you talking about the boys?
No, that's not animated, stupid.
Well, I mean, like there's computer animation that's in there.
if if you like the boys, you'll like this. Harley Quinn on for DC. It's actually on HBO Max, and this is something that I think you should check out if you enjoy this kind of humor. It's a little fast, it's a little quirky. You don't even have to be a huge fan of the DC, but I think you get more of a
I
kick
think
out of
she's
it.
a good. I think she's disturbed, but I like her.
This show is awesome. There's 2 seasons. I signed up for HBO Max just to watch this show, and I'm not let down. This is something I think it
What
would
about
be
Raised
worth.
by Wolves?
I don't even know what that is. Oh, wait,
Dude,
that's
check
not
it
out
out.
yet.
That's
That's
good.
not out yet.
It's not out yet, but HBO Max. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna watch that show. It looks awesome. Um, I agree completely. I've been watching a couple of the trailers for that. But man, Harley Quinn is the shit. This show so far is absolutely gaga. I think you should check it out. I'm like 6 to 7 episodes in. If you're a DC fan like I am, I'm gonna take that back. I'm a Batman fan, and I appreciate all the villains that they sprinkle in. She's trying to, at least so far into the series, she's trying to get into the uh, what is it called? Legion of Doom. She's trying to get into the Legion of Doom because she broke up a Joker and she wants to make a name for herself. So she actually builds a crew. Spoiler alert: it's Clayface, it is Poison Ivy, and King Shark, etc. And they are kind of doing their own thing and trying to like do think of ways to get Harley's name noticed and get her into the Legion of Doom. And it is generally clever, hilarious, fun. I have a blast with it.
Run the jewels.
You should check it out. Or when you come up here, we'll watch an episode or two because it starts off with a bang. I mean, like the first scene is Harley and Joker like robbing a boat, and I mean, Joker is disguised as someone else, and he pulls the skin of someone else off of his face, and it's like dripping blood, and Harley's like cutting people in half. It's
So
pretty.
it's
It's
like the
pretty.
Spawn cartoons back in the day.
Yes, but hilarious.
Okay.
I used to be
Run,
scared of watching those shows, by the way.
Run the Jewels. That's the rap band that I was introduced to, and I like their music.
Run the Jewels. I've never even heard
Run
of.
the Jewels. I'll send you a link.
I can look them up.
You gonna YouTube it?
I'm Spotifying it right now.
Oh my
I'm just putting them on
god.
there so I can check it out.
Check it out.
Just Nobody Speak is their big hit, 56 million views.
They're good shit. They're good shit.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. I've got plenty more that's been entertaining me, but due to the time, I think we should jump into our top games of all time, unless you have anything else to go into, John.
Um, no.
Last week, you kind of faltered a little bit. You won't notice it on the episode because I edited that shit out. But best game of all times, I asked you to come up with one, and then yesterday I even prepared you to come up with another one for today. Did you come up with one, or do you need a
I've
moment to
got
think?
one. I've got one.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to you, John. Hit it hard.
Aliens vs Predator.
Oh, nice choice. Where
Yeah.
did you play that one, John?
What? Where did I play that? Played it on PC.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. No,
I mean,
no
we can
problem
go to
there.
arcade. You want me to talk about arcade
No,
games?
no, don't even
Talk
mention
about
it.
Aliens vs Predator arcade.
That's a pretty awesome game, though, I will
It is
say.
pretty good. I wasted a lot of money.
Wasted is hard. You get it on the SNES, and that game was The
So
shit.
I didn't get to have it then. I had to go up to the arcade in the mall and play that shit.
If I can remember right, which I'm probably wrong, I think the actual SNES release didn't have the multiple characters. At least in the arcade cabinet,
Yeah, it was different.
you could be a predator or two different Marines or two different predators and two different Marines. It was something like
I was a predator. I was a predator. I am going to bring up an SNES game next time we do this. So I got a
that.
couple SNES classics that are like, and I'm sad I sold them, but like I don't know. I mean, I don't need to hold on to stuff. I'm not a hoarder, but they were awesome. So
You are where I see that baby chair in the background. But anyway, go
that's
in.
not
Alien
mine. Ben,
or
the viewers can't see that.
oh well, I mean, it's there. Trust me. Not like
Okay.
all my awesome background games here. I'm not a
Yeah.
hoarder at all. There's
Hoarder.
my little Blu-ray collection. I have a lot more. I just got rid of the cases because I was tired of moving them the 95 times that I did. But you guys might even not be able to see that. But anyway, John, tell me about Alien versus Predator.
Alien vs Predator. We're not talking about like the original one that came out for PC. Graphics are a little dated. That one we're talking about. I think it's what was it, 2008? I'm gonna have to look
That
it up
sounds like
now.
I'll look it up. You keep going.
Okay. Anyhow, so this game, basically, I only played it for the multiplayer aspect of it. I think I played a couple of the single player, which like go on through a marine. You can be a predator, and you can be an alien, and you can go through the different aspects. I always found the aliens very one back in the day when I had a CRT monitor. Yes, I know CRT 2008. Uh, I was a plebe. I didn't have a lot of money. Anyhow, motion sickness, and I found it very hard to jump from wall to ceiling to floor. I was always a Marine. Predator was okay, but I was always basically a Marine. Um, the different playing styles, uh, I think, separate players very well. They have yes.
This game is 2010,
2010. Yeah, yeah, and they
and
did some. Didn't they remaster some of it in 2012? Like they did some pretty hefty updates a couple years after.
I'm pretty sure this is the right one because I remember playing this on like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 as well. Right?
It
That
might
was
be.
that
Yeah.
time frame.
Hmm.
I thought you were way closer. I mean, they had Colonial Marines in 2013, which was a
Yeah.
shit show. My favorite was Alien vs Predator 2 in 2001,
Yeah.
and
This
I
is
played that
after that
game
one.
on
Yeah.
PC. Oh yeah, by a lot. Anyway,
Yeah.
go on. Sorry to interrupt. I was surprised.
No, you're fine. So each one of these classes are so very different that it like really like you'll find the one that suits you the best. And like some of the games, especially the multiplayer ones, like you don't get to pick what you are. Yeah, there were servers that were set up that you could be like a marine if you wanted to be a marine all the time, but it forced you to play outside of your comfort zone. And because the gameplay is so dynamically different, you could end up in a character on a team and suck a lot, as I do. But anyhow, so like you have the Marines. If they stick together very well, they have range. They're very weak though. They can counter some of the Predator moves and stuff like that. Each one, it's a tit for tat. It's definitely a rock paper scissors situation. Generally falls down to who shoots and hits first. Um, the aliens are just very all over
So
the
very
place.
Call of Duty. Very Call of Duty.
Yeah, yeah. I thought one really cool aspect of the game was if you were an alien and you spun around fast enough, you could see your tail whipping. So I thought that was
Yep.
cool. That was always like mind blow.
It's
So
the first thing I do whenever I play like a first person shooter is I look down and see if my feet are there because it does help with the realism a little bit. But
yeah.
yeah, I agree. But those little bits are really fun.
But this game, it was great. It was great for LAN parties. Played a lot of online play with a lot of friends, and we'll get together maybe once or twice a year now and still play that game. Now the servers are pretty much broken, like the ones that are
We
operated.
tried this. We tried that game just a little
Yeah,
while back.
yeah, we did.
We're like
And
20
so
people in.
yeah, well, there's a lot of. I mean, it's an old game. It's been taken advantage of. There's no anti-cheat situation, so like, you can build a blocking list you want, and there's still people maintain some servers. There are companies that maintain servers, but in general, uh, it broke because you'll find people that will just cheat. So you can lock it down with your friends, and it's great fun. A lot of shit talking, a lot of beer drinking, kind of. I couldn't. I would throw up if I played an alien drunk. That's hands down. I would just throw up and fall off the wall. Kill me
It
now,
is
please.
it is very discombobulating. It's a lot of you hold down if I can remember right the shift button on the keyboard, and then you can freely move around like ceiling walls. So I mean, you could literally go around in a spiral. I
Yeah.
mean, the fluidity of the movement playing with the alien for me was always the most fun, which is actually why I liked Alien versus Predator 2 in 2001.
Yeah.
That was
Did
like,
you just start off like a chest burster, find a human,
yeah,
burst out of
yeah.
its chest, and like
You're
crawl
talking.
around?
Wait, are you talking about AVP 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to say that's how that game starts because they have small little campaigns for each character. It was primarily a multiplayer game. It was man,
Isn't that
the
the one where they gave you a free pair of underwear?
I don't remember. I don't.
I think so. I'm gonna look it up
I
now. I'm pretty
I
sure.
know that the like the cover of it was all like puffy like the Horde. Like at the end of Alien or not the well yeah maybe it is towards the end of Aliens Resurrection, like when she falls down in that pit and all the aliens are sucking her down into it. It's pretty gross, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was Resurrection.
So you find out about that underwear. I'm super excited.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they did.
I'm sure that they did, but it's very like I said discombobulating the actual.
Damn
Um,
picture searches.
did they
No, I just put
just
AVP
found
free
underwear?
pair of underwear. It's like low waist brief underwear. It's a dude's like G string. Oh man,
There's nothing
so
wrong with the dude's G-string, John, unless it's in.
maybe for me, I'm gonna get off Bing. I know I'm on Bing right now. It's not doing me favors.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. I'm getting dudes bulges in my face. Yeah, yeah. IGN, a game so scary we're giving you a free pair of underwear.
Yeah, I didn't think there was.
1999 Aliens vs Predator. So was the original.
I didn't think there was anything scary about this game personally.
It's from Big Dog Studios. I mean, like if you played it in the dark, uh, I mean, I guess I could see it. I
I
don't. I've
guess
never
I
shat myself, so I don't know.
ever.
Yeah, no. I mean, like maybe when I was a baby or a kid or something, but I have not, as an adult, shat
Fine, a kid.
myself. Even when terribly ill, I've always made it to the restroom.
I'm super proud of you. Well, I think that's a fantastic pick, and it's actually one that's right up your alley. So I'm glad to see you break out and go into the first-person shooter outside of Chex Quest.
It's
So
a
hey,
fast place motherfucking game. I like
it's
right
a
now.
good.
I'm just like,
It's a good game. I'm gonna pick one now that is actually surprised to me. I added this one to my list. Like I said, I built a huge list a while back because I was trying to come up with my favorite games of all time, and I think this
mhm.
is a little bit of a unique one for me. Um, it is Hulk Ultimate Destruction for the PlayStation 2. It also came out for the GameCube. And this one specifically for this is gonna be real silly, but this was a game I only rented like one time. But I once I rented it, I played through the entirety of the campaign. I absolutely loved it. And it's one of those games. I don't know if you feel this way, but have you ever had a game where you can run, leap, and climb, and it's really like you know how when you hit go down a roller coaster or you hit like a speed bump when you were a kid riding in the back seat and you just felt like all of your body like go up into your chest
Mhm.
and you just had that feeling of like ah! I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it, but this game gave me that every time you would leap from building to building or from building to ground or something like that as the Hulk. I'm not a huge Hulk fan, but I think that the villains that they introduced in this game were fantastic. And again, the storyline kept it going. But the main thing that I loved so much about it was the upgrade system. You find yourself in a position where you're constantly using some of your upgrade points to develop new and just amazing fighting mechanics. So, for instance, there's one where you can rip a car in half, use it as punching gloves, like boxing gloves, and then you can do like double damage with the punch or the boxing gloves. There's obviously earth pounds. You could do jumping ground slams and stuff like that. And this is a game that I would love if they would go back and remaster or at least make it available for me to play again in this world
What's it
because this
called?
game it's Hulk Ultimate Destruction. And this game came out in 2005, again for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. And I played it myself on the PlayStation 2. And I think it's personally one of the few that can't be missed. They released what I would call a sequel whenever the Hulk film came out. And I can't remember exactly what that would have been called. It was probably just Hulk. And it was almost a direct rip off of this game.
The Incredible
But
Hulk.
it probably. Yeah, this one's called The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. The other one was probably just Incredible Hulk or something like that. Again, it took a lot of the same mechanics, but it was kind of dumbed down, at least in my mind. Maybe it was the same game. It did still give me some of the same feelings, but I just think this one nailed it. I think it had some of the more cell shaded graphics, and it was just a blast. And like I was sitting down thinking some of my favorite games of all time. And that's one of those games that I think once you beat it, I mean, I literally probably dumped like 50 hours into this 15-hour campaign in a weekend. And it was one of those games that it just hooks you. And then I sit there with my limited income or, expendable income as a kid in 2005. I would have been, what, 18, 17, 18 at that time.
It
Um,
came out on my birthday,
hey, happy
August
birthday. You should play
23rd,
this shit. I think you would like this game if you could find it.
and it got a great by GameSpot. 8.2, great. And Metacritic gave it 83. Average users on GameSpot gave it 8.7. So you are
I'm
not alone.
glad that my memory isn't failing me because I remember absolutely enjoying this game. And one other I would give a huge shout out to. It's not on my list, but it's Ultimate Spider-Man. It came out in that same window, still shell shaded, shell shade. God damn it, I can't talk. Cell
Cell shaded.
shaded. And it has nothing to do with the drinks. It's just me. I've been talking for about an hour and 10 minutes now, but it's the cell shaded gameplay style. The only thing I think that really dips that down, I think it's the voice acting. I think they did a terrible job casting every single character in that game, and they had a really cool plethora of the villains and the rogues catalog from Spider-Man. Um, but like I said, I think that's a great game. I'd still probably give it a great on my scale, but Hulk Ultimate Destruction, I think I could give it a gaga. I think I loved it. It was a blast. It was thrilling, and it was exactly what I needed from a game like that. And I'd love to be able to revisit it whenever I get the chance to. Again, I wish I would have bought it. I wish I still had a PlayStation 2 sitting around here somewhere, but it's a
Do you
game
have
that
a
just
Cheche 01 still?
I don't even know
PlayStation
what that
3?
means. No,
Oh.
no. Who has a PlayStation 3 anymore except for you?
Well, mine died, so I can't play any PS2 games. But Madison has a slim PS3. I need to. So I have a card game for the PlayStation 3.
I know I have Judgment.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of cards, and I'm just
We're
like,
all about that.
I need to get rid of it. But I'm like, fuck a video
No,
game.
hold on to it. Maybe one day it'll be a collector's item.
Yeah, but you
R-
can't get the expansions. I had to download them because I heard they were going to shut down the PlayStation 3 store.
Probably. This game Hulk Ultimate Destruction was developed by Radical Entertainment, and
Mm-hmm.
they did and you can definitely see signs of this in these games coming up. But they also did in 2009 Prototype and in 2012 Prototype 2. But other than that, they did the open world game Scarface,
Destiny.
The World Is Yours. They helped with the development of Destiny, it says there. I'm actually glad to see that there's, at least at that time, they still existed in 2014. Maybe they've been shuttered since. They had Simpsons Hit and Run, um, Hulk, The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, and I think that Hulk one is actually the other one that I played. It almost felt like it was maybe that's what they did with Ultimate Destruction. They took their own storyline and kind of built from there. So maybe that's the way that my mind is failing me on that front. But yeah, they did a lot of really good stuff, and I'd like to see them come back and do something differently if they still exist. But from what I can tell, they're kind of not really delving in that
Maybe they got
department.
absorbed by somebody because 2014 is the last action we have. That was 6 years ago, as far as Wikipedia is concerned.
From what I'm seeing in 2012, it says that they had radically reduce their staff and that they would cease development of their own games moving forward and that they'll only be basically a support studio from this point on. I also played Prototype 2. I thought that was a really fun game myself. But
Hmm.
what do you know?
Poor guys.
John,
A lot of studios do that, gaming studios.
do you have anything else to add to this episode of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast?
No, man, it's good that you're back. We took that hiatus for a week. I didn't know what to do with myself. So, I mean,
You you say that, but no one else knew that because we set it up. We pre-recorded an episode. We were ready to go. We didn't skip a beat there,
that's
cowboy.
true. You were out
You need to go
there
back and watch that
slapping
episode, but
bison
you don't
butts.
watch them.
I will. I need to watch your review of the Ghost of Tsushima. I saw that was up. It was live. Every time I'm like, oh, look at that, and then I'm just like, eh.
It's a cool 18 minutes, man. It's not a great review. I don't. I kind of rushed it.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna play the game. And I'd
That's
rather
fine.
watch you than some nobody. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Just watch me because I'm always fun to look at.
Stick with the nobody you know, the nobody you
I
don't
like that.
know.
I like that. Hey, you know what? Stick with the nobody you know. So with that being said, John, give us um no, I almost jumped the gun. Sorry, let me slow down there. Thank you again for joining us for episode 9 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. We love you as always. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're trying to build up this channel just a little bit. We're up to a whole 7 subscribers, so we're working our way up the tower there. But John, leave us a little bit of words of wisdom like you always do.
Where's the, I gave some earlier, and then I gave the stick with
Did, and
the
I wish you would have held it. So use it again. Do you remember? I don't.
which one? Which one?
Any of
The
them.
stick with a nobody that you know.
All right, I like that. So,
I mean, that could
John,
be our
hit some
catchphrase.
words of wisdom.
Stick with a nobody you know. All right,
Nobody's you
that's
know
prime
right
time.
here. Have a good
That's
week,
prime time.
guys.
Bye.